I was painting before, and I get like the many time when I was in my teenagers, I was doing like kind of the I was the first on the many school, and I won many prizes. But one year it was competition, like 30 years ago. It was composition of the between the schools and the system, the parties. One of the leaders, he won the my painting won the first prize. So later I find that one of the officials' son is getting the first prize, and they show my pictures, and that son he get the prize, not me. When I complain, the school tell me he's powerful person and we cannot do anything, but they buy a lot of big collection of the drawing Louvre Bourgeois, which is was the much expensive one in that time for me. But I think this story was big change for me, and after that even I get that beautiful collection of colors paint, and but I decide to stop painting and I go to do photography more. But I didn't have leaders, so I lead myself. So, or teacher, we don't have even like someone who can tell you what is the photography. The idea was after this experience, it looked like my destiny was this guy didn't finish, because after when I grow up and I become a little bit well-known artist in my city only, and I start photo festival, I open my gallery and photo festival. Suddenly this guy, the same guy who never remember me, he tried this time to take my festival, 1997. So, but this time I was growing guy and I stopped against him. So this is make him really like in big trouble, because also 4 days before it was big war between someone who supported by the system and me as the citizen. But in reality, when I stop against him, I find many people from the system also they don't like him. In reality, they was happy that someone is stopping against this guy. And in the end, he lost his job. He was the head of the artist union. He lost his job, and my festival still exists until now. Most of the people understand that photography can be power. Photography is opinion. Photography is faster way to give to talk to the people, and this is what was really like huge change in the country. And also, of course, when you have censorship, sometimes they feel also that the photographies can be can be dangerous in some way. But we try to not tease anybody. We try to, like most of our movement, when we have it, we do it very peaceful way. And when we had some problem, we answer peaceful way also. And this is possible, I think, to communicate with the people in this way. Even if there is some traditional power, they don't accept it. But they didn't have really the courage to say that openly. And this was the difference between us and them, which we act and show everything very openly. And there was like more close, more not reacting in open way. Yeah, actually, the first people who didn't accept a woman's first year at least, there was the woman artist himself in Syria. Because they didn't understand in the beginning the message, But slowly this has changed completely, and there was now we have very good number who participate, and they are very proud to be in the Women Art Festival, which is really like something grow it. Last festival was really fantastic with the kind of the freedom we show inside, and kind of the like we invite Iqbal Baraka. She talk openly on the audience this year 2010 before the conflicts in Syria. She was just like attacking the fanatic mental in Islamic world, which is like was open talk in the Shebani building, which become now center of the Jabhat al-Nusra in Aleppo. So Iqbal Barakashi was one of the people who talk about what we should limit this kind of powers in the Islamic society. In the end of the talk, I make call to the secular Muslims that I was inviting them to react, to be more active, to protect what they win from the secular life, because if they don't do it, we will lost everything against the Islamic power. And the time showed, just like 1 year later, when the revolution started in Syria, and we find just that how the fanatics they occupied everything, and they turned it into other situation completely. And it is make that earlier call, which is I think no one take it seriously in year 2010. In our last Women Art Festival, and now it's happened. But I think the secular Muslims in Islamic world, they should make really like big step to make the other Muslims to understand what is going on, because they are the majority, but they are so silent, and they don't fight for the right they have it. Actually, the fanatics, they are very small parties, but they are really loudy. Actually, I answer everybody that when they ask me this kind of question, I'm Syrian, but my background is Christian. For the first time, I'm telling that in an interview. But as Christian background, I don't consider myself at the second level citizen. I consider myself first level citizen as any other Syrian. And I never allowed to anybody to look at to me in different way. Actually, you mentioned something really I like it, because I will tell you the following. Whatever the political do from Afghanistan to it, we find that they are not success. So I think they should give the art chance, because art is really beautiful way, peaceful way to build trust and to build really society in healthy way. Because people, I find that in Syria even, like I find people come from sometimes very conservative areas, but when they are in the exhibition, sometimes they don't understand it at all, but they respect it. I feel that, and they try hard to be part from the society. Like I can tell you something in Jalloum area, where is now the Jabhat al-Nusra active there. So it was just like when we want to hold our festival there first year, it was amazing to find the neighbors bring nail and hammers, and they want to help us, which is most of the Aleppolainen at that time, they think that around the citadel it's conservative. I'm talking about early time, 1998, 1999, So it was just like amazing to see how they react, and how they come. And it even like international artists, we have in our website a lot of feedback, how there was like shock about the welcoming of the simple people to them, not just in the festival, outside the festival, street and around the building, families, everybody. And this is show exactly the Syrian character also, this is show also the message of the art, how can be strong. And even like maybe some conservative religious people, they will not like it, but actually I'm really challenging that anybody from the political, if they have the courage to stop against it, they cannot stop against art, because it's very peaceful. That's why we start later in the war zone our campaign, which is called Art is Peace, because now it's growing everywhere around the artists, and many artists, university professors, everybody emailing us and telling us, we never think that when we are doing art, we're doing peace. They are all volunteers. And we have international volunteers, not at war zone now, but before. People come from many countries to help, to work on the organization, and they give, some of them very professional, some of them no, first time, some of them student at universities, and we have volunteer form at the website, so they fill it and they come to have training and work a few months or year sometime in Syria. We have very, very small budget. You cannot imagine. But for me, for my personal life way, I sell my work. But for organization, we have always problem, because anything you do it in Middle East, it's not in the end. It's politic. It's not art just. Even if you are doing something, I don't know, very personal, because it's Middle East. Western money always will come. Most of them, they have a lot of money for war. They have a lot of money for oil. They have a lot of money for many things, but not for culture. If you want to make culture, it will become money just for some political reason, not for other reason. And we find that in the last 4 years war is really difficult. And many people want to support me, but if I get some, if I choose side. So I didn't want to choose side, because I try to be in the side of the people. If you want to be organization or artist, you should have it for all Syrians, not for side against the other side, which is I don't accept it. Like it was so funny, like few months ago, to hear about the Danish government. They decide to give 11 police cars to the Syrian, to Aleppo city for police. Which police they are talking about? Where is that police? You know, the problem, all Syrian case from the beginning, it's acting incredible way. Where is the Tawhid now? It was very active, very huge. How can disappear huge army of the opposition suddenly in one night? You know, because all of them, they are changing the dresses. They are the same people. Every week, every like 1-2 months, we have new parties. If you discover and look at to the idea of this party, you can see it's the old one. And now, hey guys, change the dresses. Now you should look secular. Now you should look Islamic. Now you should look ISIS. So in some way, it's just like big game. We saw it in front of us, and the world refused to see it. And this is one of the, I don't know, the biggest theater ever I saw, but it's bloody one. And I will ask something for the Western government. When they have no money to run war in any country, they should not trust the Saudi Arabia's and Gulf money. Gulf money always will end with jihadis. How you can ask to change democratic change in Syria, led by like Islamic Qatar and Saudi Arabia? Is that normal person thinking? I don't think so. I just want to challenge some politician, Western politician, to invite some of the fighters to his home. I'm sure after 1 week they will start any speech in West with Allahu Akbar. In the time I left from Syria, it was nothing about that. I don't think the people have in Syria reaction against the Kurdish, you know, and I don't think, of course, everybody playing with the Kurdish paper or case, you know, in Turkey and everybody, but I don't think at all, especially Turkish government will allow to Kurdish to become like independent, another Kurdistan there. No, I don't think so. Maybe they accepted in Turkey, in Iraq for some way, you know, but I think the big enemy of Kobani and his Turkish government in some way, not they using ISIS, and everybody know that ISIS can cross the border, and we have like contact with some refugees in Turkey which friend us. They live there, and they photograph by mobile the centers of ISIS. They can photograph the ISIS member how they moving freeway in Turkey. And I think simply if you want to kill ISIS and save Kobani and the rest of the Syria, just you need to close the north border. Then ISIS will die after a few weeks by himself. They don't need to spend like 7,000 bond and 1,800 fly on Syria, which is very expensive for Western country. But I think only thing they should, if they close the northern border, everything, ISIS will die by himself. It was special selection, around 30 photos, but this selection I did by purpose, because it show like political life and social life before the war and after the war, and also telling the story of the people during the war. It's also showing the stories of the heroes, like there's stories of the people who daily survivor on the war, which media never talk to them. And the main ideas, it's we don't need to be dead number in the media. We're trying to show the alive people life. Maybe it was not everything perfect before the war, but it's not mean to kill them to talk about them later. This is stories of every person who move from area to the others, and they are still survivor. And the people, international people, medias, and everybody should focus on them. They focus only about us when we die, not when we are alive.